It's approaching the 11th hour of the 11th day of November 2022. Calvin Castine outside of American Legion Post 912 in Rouses Point. Every year we make sure to put November 11th and Memorial Day on our calendars so we can pay tribute to our veterans. We'll be going inside, but I just want to throw in a personal memory. For years I worked at Sheridan Ironworks, later Harris Graphics, and on the 11th hour, every machine in that machine shop at Sheridan would shut down. Jack Zerla was the plant manager, and he insisted on that. It was an effort to shut down those machines, and you had to restart them. But they shut down, and they spent that minute or two in silent tribute to the veterans on Veterans Day. We're going to head inside.
Yeah, we were waiting for you, George.
Oh, you weren't.
Okay, I want to welcome everybody here this morning to our Veterans Day ceremony. We've had this every year except for when we had COVID and we were not able to have it, but we've had this for many, many years, as Calvin can attest. He's been to a lot of them. So. I would just like to let you know that in attendance here today is our 912 Honor Guard, our 912 Auxiliary Unit, our 912 Sons of the American Legion. Also, we have some dual members here. We have members from the Swanton, Vermont VFW Post 778 who are also dual members here at the Legion. So they are here with us today also to help us celebrate Veterans Day. So, just a couple announcements that after we are done, after the firing and the taps, we'll be coming back in here for a light luncheon. So you're all invited to stay for that. At this time, I'd like to have Unit 912's chaplain to come up and open up our ceremonies. Everybody can please stand and remove your caps.
O God of hosts, we bow our heads in thankfulness for the victories thou hast granted us. To us and to those peoples who have united with us to stamp out the evils of aggression, intolerance, and greed. We beseech thee to bring the blessings of understandings to the families and friends in this and other lands, of those who have given their lives that men may be free. Grant, O God, that those closest to the fallen may mingle in pain of their losses with the enveloping light of sacrifice of civilization. Sacrifice for a better world for this and other generations yet unborn. Grant us too, O God, the courage to be so live the family of nations around the world that the end of the strife will be the beginning of endurance peace. Grant us patience in planning with our fellow men and women, a world in which nations may resolve their differences by peaceful means. Touch thou the souls of peoples in every land with the enduring light of wisdom, so they may form a brotherhood which will strive to further the arts of peace under laws and ethics blessed by thy love. Grant us now thy continued blessing among unity, strength that makes victories possible in war, that we may win greater victories of peace. Amen.
Please remain standing and uncovered. We'll Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Recover and may be seated. On this day, Veterans Day, we are commemorating the service of veterans of all wars. We remember how men and women set aside their civilian pursuits to serve their nation's cause, defending the freedom of mankind and preserving our precious American heritage. We believe our strength on the field of battle, on the supply lines, which nourished our armed might, lay in the justice of our cause against the forces of evil. We believe our determination made us better warriors because we fought with our minds and our hearts as well as our bodies. We recognize service to our country and her cause does not end with the termination of military service. We continue our endeavors on behalf of an honorable world peace with a feeling of profound gratitude to God and to the men and women who gave their lives as part of the cost of this noblest of causes. Out of blood and sweat, we learned of purpose, sacrifice, tolerance, bravery, and discipline. These are solid foundation stones upon which a great nation is built. In our continuing quest for an honorable world peace, we must cultivate these virtues. I now call on Unit Member Janice St. John for our next reading.
The waging of war involves more than just the combatants who fight to the death on the field of battle. The fighting forces begin at the fireside and in the hometowns. The repercussions of the war's terrible brutality have chilled the heart and dimmed the hopes and dreams of many of a loved one left behind on the home front. While the horrors of the battlefield may not have been our experience, we have lived with the terrifying loneliness created to answer an aggressor's challenge. The waging war, we have moved forward with the unity of purpose, which made us strong, forgetting pettiness, egotism, and pride. Our hearts beat in tune with those in other nations fighting for freedom and the dignity and opportunity of mankind. In our constant quest for an honorable world peace, there is need for unity of purpose if we truly are to move forward toward a brighter tomorrow.
Thank you, Janice. I now call on my first Vice Commander for the next reading.
If there be glory in war, it is the almost incredible spirit which it engenders. Those who offer their life sacrifice their all with magnificent abandon. Heroism, welcome and contagious. Yet, true in warfare, greed and brutality are its epidemic. Too often, it is later which persists of the peace that falls. Let us strive to see the same spirit of self-sacrifice and cultivated in peace as has been and exhibited in war. It behooves us to rear new standards of success in spirits, youth, and peace as youth was inspirited by war. Public honor must be given where public honor is due. Not to be manipulated of a market, the seeker after profit, power, or possession, but rather let us honor the heroes of science who cultivated human sacrificing and carrying to greater heights the standards of civilization. Let us honor those who in public service seek not how much they may secure from the nation, but how much they can give. Let us honor those who devote their lives to that education, which will lead our children on to live and laugh, and then learn and love, as we have only dreamed of doing. Let us honor those veterans who carry into ordinary affairs of the life a noble idealism and sincere capacity for those self-devotions. Let us translate the devotions of war into the devotions of peace. Let us will to live as well as to die for our country.
Thank you, Cliff. The hurts of war fall alike upon those who wear the same uniform, no matter how they may differ in race, creed, or culture. Those who fight together suffer together to achieve a common aim. In the similarity of battle dress, there is a common denominator, the common purpose, the sharing of danger and suffering, which brings, in time of war, a tolerance, which adds strength to the cause. As we put aside the brown and blue and green fabrics that made us one people on the battlefields, we can hold in our minds the tolerance we have achieved. In tolerance, there is progress, progress towards a better and happier world. War has taught us the lesson of obedience to command. The game is more than the player, and the ship is more than the crew. There is a greater discipline we must now pursue if we are to preserve this virtue of obedience in our quest for honorable world peace. That is obedience to the laws we ourselves make, the voluntary discipline of citizenship. Under our system of government, we may change the laws by majority rule. We may persuade our neighbors to new theories or new courses. We may advocate in free elections the choice of veterans or plans. As good citizens, we follow the choice of the majority, whether that choice be the individuals or not. This is the virtue of discipline, which must be ours in peace. This is the lesson we must learn at home, in school, and on the playing fields, in organizations and in the community and the nation. It is the lesson of voluntary obedience to the decisions of the majority. In time of peace, we can use the ennobling virtues of war and put behind us its ugliness and suffering. In peace, we shall go forward together to scale new heights of achievement, in unity of purpose, in sacrifice for the common good, in tolerance for those of different faiths and creeds, in bravery to fight for the social and economic gains, and in the discipline of good citizenship. We shall move forward in the sight of God as a strong nation in a peaceful world. The service of Americans' veterans never truly ends. Even when they hang up their military uniforms for the last time, many still choose to protect us. Noah Chavez was one of them. After serving 5 years as a military police officer in the U.S. Army's 591st MP Company, Noah returned to his home state and graduated from the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy in May of 2022. As he drove past a restaurant last summer in Elwood, Indiana, he noticed an artist painting a large American flag mural covering the exterior of the building. Noah exited his patrol car and complimented the painter for his patriotic rendering. The two briefly conversed. The artist, Theodore Winters, thanked Noah for his military service, then they went about their business. A few hours later, Noah was tragically killed in the line of duty when a motorist allegedly shot him during a traffic stop. End of watch for Noah Chavez was July 31st, 2022. He was just 24 years old. After hearing the news about Noah, Theodore immediately recalled their conversation and decided the mural would be dedicated to the fallen hero and veteran who gave everything to his community and country. Noah Chavez was the embodiment of service and sacrifice. He was not alone. The U.S. Justice Department estimates that 25% of law enforcement officers have a military background. Bravery and dedication to community are common among veterans. Today is a day to honor all of the men and women who served in the U.S. military. It is about the approximately 19 million U.S. veterans who are still with us today, and the millions who have preceded them since the American Revolution. Many serve their communities as first responders, teachers, healthcare workers, or church leaders. Some are business owners, farmers, company workers, or retirees. Veterans are a diverse group represented by men and women of every economic, ethnic, and religious background. They come from every state and territory, but are bound by one common commitment: to defend America with their life if called upon. From fighting terrorism, defeating fascism, and liberating slaves, veterans have a record of remarkable accomplishment throughout our nation's history. Military service is not for the faint of heart. Most civilian jobs do not require risks to life and limb. No other occupation subjects its employees to criminal charges for disobeying their boss. Unlike members of the military, civilians can live where they want and can quit whenever they want. Transitional challenges, the stress of military life, and feelings of isolation all factor into a suicide rate among veterans that is more than 50% higher than that of non-veteran adults. The stigma of seeking help needs to end. If we are going to stop suicide of our veterans, it is crucial that we look at this issue much differently than prior generations. If we wait for someone to make an attempt before we reach out, there is a very good chance that it will be too late. Veterans value courage, and it takes courage to ask for help. We must be proactive. Ask and encourage veterans to seek help before they pass a point of no return. The bonds that we formed in the military are unlike any other. A good American Legion post fosters an environment that helps continue such bonds and create new ones. And I can attest that our post is one of those posts. Very few of us are trained counselors or mental health professionals, but we are capable of listening, referring, and following up. The National Crisis Line still works, but now there is an even shorter number. The number is 988 extension 1 for veteran. Most kindergartners know what 911 is for. It is up to us to ensure that 988 becomes just as widely known. By calling 988 now, we can prevent a 911 call later. The American Legion also has a Be the One website, and that's www.betheone.org. Visit it, learn from it, and spread the word about it. And this is the American Legion's program for suicide prevention. Homelessness is another tragic outcome that is too often connected to military service. It is estimated that America has 60,000 veterans who are homeless. That is greater than the entire population of Carson City, Nevada. Though veterans comprise approximately 7% of the U.S. population, they are 11% of our nation's homeless. The best way to prevent a veteran from becoming homeless is to hire one. It is not only good policy, but it's smart business for an employer who values the skill, the discipline, and the patriotism that you get from a veteran. It is fitting that Veterans Day be observed so close to Election Day. It is, after all, the veterans who have preserved our constitutional rights for 246 years. For many of them, this nation was worth enduring long separations from their families, missing the births of their children, freezing in sub-zero temperatures, sweating in the Sahara, and and sacrificing their health, far too often also losing their lives. When a politician complains about the cost of a veterans program, it is up to us to remind them the cost of being a veteran. Whether it's exposure to burn pits or other toxin, many veterans today continue to pay a high price for their military service. It is up to us to ensure that they always have access to high-quality health care and benefits, reflecting the thanks of a great nation. And recently, the PACT Act was signed into law, and that was a joint venture from the American Legion and the VFW to get that law passed. And that replies to the burn pits and also the toxins from Vietnam with the Agent Orange. 104 years ago, on November 11th, 1918, the guns of the world fell silent. As armistice was signed and the Great War was over. Unfortunately, World War I was not the war to end all wars, as many had hoped. Veterans are not only responsible for defending this nation during time of war, but it is the imposing presence of our great military that has acted as a deterrent to would-be aggressors. The veterans of the United States military have not only fought wars, they deserve our gratitude for preventing them. And while today we rejoice and honor the service of American veterans, we also remember the wise words of General Douglas MacArthur. The soldier, above all other people, prays for peace. God bless you all for being here. God bless our veterans, and God bless America. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to ask the honor guard and the sons and anybody else that would like to. We're going to be going outside, and we're going to fire a volley for all our departed veterans. Commander, honor our departed veterans. Port arms. Ready, arms. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Present. Huh. Thank everybody for being here this morning to help us celebrate our Veterans Day. You're all invited back inside. We will set up for a light luncheon of soup and sandwiches. Again, thank you very much for being here today.